have my contracts locked and loaded though. I am ready to get in short. Just waiting here to. Yeah, I'm gonna enter short in on this, guys. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna hop in short. I'm gonna put my stop at 60991. Right, so we're risking 50 cents here. My first target, downside target, is 60904. And then my next target is going to be 60782, right? And we'll obviously target pre-market low here. So risking 50 cents here, that's pretty solid, right? That's a good trade. Things have definitely been bullish, but we got a solid green bar there that was ignored off open print. I like the trend to the downside. So, and I'm going to take it. We're going to give it a shot, see what we get. That's it, right? You can't overthink it, you can't overthink it. You got to be able to execute, and that's what we do. Another thing I'm playing here is the fact that we were well above previous all-time high, large move to the upside, and sellers came in pretty strong and invalidated that, right? So I feel like this is a good spot too. It's right next to that 1 hour 9, right? So it's definitely a valid entry for me short. It's been a tough week. It's important to not question. Stick to the data, right? What does the data tell you? We've been collecting data on this for 5 months now. This edge in particular. So you just got to learn to trust it a little bit. And then once you enter, there's nothing else you could do, right? You just got to trust it. I got my stop right here at 60991. If it hits, it hits. It is what it is. This is literally the game that we play. Definitely seeing some strength there at that 50. I like that we're continuously closing below EOD. I'm more focused. Yeah, we are getting some buying there, but I'm just really focused on this 9, right? This 9 DEMA on the 5-minute. There we go. Sellers trying to push here, pretty strong. Let's see if they can hold. First target here, 60904. I'm in SPX put, so they pay a little quicker than SPY does. But yeah, the risk reward's definitely pretty good here. We'll take it. Let's see what happens here at the 50. And what's pretty cool about this too is like the level we're playing. If buyers do end up coming in and taking it, it's a good enough level where that 50-50 perspective comes in pretty good, to the point where you can, like if sellers lose this level, it's a very high probability that we're going to move up to the upside. And you just got to ask yourself, right? Like, there's a bunch of what ifs, but I always ask myself, what's the price action telling me off the critical level, right? Like, does this look bullish? I understand buyers could come in, but this in front of me just looks bearish. So therefore, I'm gonna play the downside move, right? Like, I try not to overthink it. I just watch to see what happens at the pit number. Because the chart pattern is the human behavior, right? So if you see a specific chart pattern, you got to play it, and this is a clean break and retest here. Looks like we're trying to get that moving average cross. We're definitely getting some buying here at the 50. Let's see who's going to take it. That inverted chart here on the right too, definitely looks good. These wicks are definitely intimidating, but I mean that inverted chart right there is, it's, we got the moving average cross, we got the red bar that's been ignored. I have to take this, right? If I don't take this, I'm breaking my strategy, I'm breaking character, right? Because this is the edge that I study, this is the data we collect, right? Like when I see this, like Todd says from Louisiana, I gotta take it, right? Like when I see this, I have to take it. That's what the data tells me to do. Therefore, like if my once anything else is emotion, you just gotta stick to the strategy. Get a nice push. SPX puts here, we're up about 8%. Let's see if we can get a nice push right in the 609 where what we could go from there, right? Maybe trim. Get a quick 30%. Lock in a win here on a tough week. It's been a tough week, but we're not gonna let it discourage us. We're gonna stick to what we know, right? The most important thing, like I've learned in my past, you're gonna have hard weeks. Shit, you're gonna have bad months. It could be very discouraging, but you got to remind yourself, right? Like you have to. I always ask myself, why did I make the decision I did, right? And you want that to be repeatable, so that therefore that way you can repeat it, right? So biggest thing I'm gonna ask myself, regardless if I make money on this trade or not, is did I execute my strategy? Right? Did I properly execute my strategy? And I can confidently say I did. Right? We got the moving average cross, we got the green bar that was ignored, and we got open print and end of day there. Right? So at this point, it's completely up to the market to do the rest. But I properly executed what I was supposed to do today. And that's it. We could definitely get some chop. This is super volatile market. It's very bullish. But I can't get to the point where I start questioning my entries. Or I can't be like, oh, it's really bullish, so maybe I should hold off, right? Like you don't want that indecisiveness, right? You want to watch, you want to see your edge execute, right? Like otherwise the trade starts to become special, and when your decisions become special, it gets very hard to get out of them when you're supposed to. Like you want to treat it like a poker hand, right? If you got pocket aces, are you gonna fold them just because your opponent's good? No, you're gonna buy in, right? You got pocket aces, you gotta buy in. So it's the same concept, right? Like if I see my edge, even though we're in certain market conditions, I'm gonna stick to it. I'm watching this 9 here. I want to make sure she stays holding. Once again, more focused on that last minute of the 5-minute candle. Don't let that first minute scare you, right? Definitely don't watch your P&L. That's something I got from Eric Cow. There's shit. The P&L is gonna play with your heart. Don't watch it. Watch those candles. Watch the moving averages. Watch price. Right? I used to obsess and watch the ticker up here. Don't do that. Right? Because if I'm watching this, I'm not watching this. If I'm not watching this, I'm making emotional decisions. Right? I want to make decisions based off the price action in front of me. Nothing else. Let's see here. SPX. We got that 50 EMA. It's down here a little bit. Definitely getting a little bit of buying here. But we'll see. Here's what it is. Down about 6% on this trade. All good. I really like here that we're below the 1 hour 9. That's exactly what I want to see. I want to see us, look at this chart on the right? The inverted chart. We were below the 1 hour 9, which is this blue line. Now we're above it, and you can clearly see here it's being defended to the upside, right? And this is the inverted chart, so this is the price is inverted. So I want to see, we're playing around with that 50. I want to see sellers hold this, but I do like that we're below it. That's it. Did I execute the right way? That's all I ask myself, right? Did I execute the right way? And then, at the end of the week, or the end of the month, you'll be like, all right, how's the edge performing, right? Then start changing things if you want to, right? But honestly, it's you can't change anything, right? Like, this is why you collect data. You make the decisions based off the data. Not what you think, right? Like, that's the definition of objectivity. Actually, I'm gonna pull it up. I want to see what it is actually. Like, I'm a nerd. I like to look up clear definitions, stuff like that, and it helps keep my mind off of price action. All right, depth of objectivity, right? Okay. A person not influenced by personal feelings or opinions, considering and representing the facts, right? So that's the definition of objective, right? So a person not influenced by personal feelings or opinions, right? So once again, we sticking to the facts, meaning I'm sticking to the data that we've collected, right? I'm not, no feelings, strictly data. Right? What's my entry criteria? Open print, moving average cross, and RBI, GBI entry process, right? So we got that, right? So now we just let the market do the rest. Again, I got my stop. I got a hard stop in around 610. I'd call it 609.95, right? If price hits 609, we'll just call it 610. If price hits 610, I'll exit this trade. And this is where I watch those moving averages, right? I watch price come into the moving average, and I watch to see how it responds to it. Like, look at that. Price just rallied up, and now we're getting some nice selling, right? Let it play out. This is why I constantly recommend on demand too. If you're struggling with holding trades or whatever, like, the on demand is going to help you realize, right, from a non-emotional state what happens most often, right? And once again, we want to make decisions based off the facts, right? Well, in the market, there's not many facts, but there is high probability, right? Like, what happens most often? That's the decisions I want to be. That's where I want to be making decisions. SPX is just very clean. Look at this, right? No pre-market data. Open print, end of day, previous day high, all relatively close. Price fell below it. Got that green bar ignored. That's where we entered short. Now our stop is above it. Getting a nice move here. On SPX, I'll be taking profit down here at the 50 EMA. There we go. Getting a nice push here. Nice push. Now, my stop will probably go maybe above this current 5-minute candle, right? That's probably good. Could bump that stop loss down. Nice push here in the previous all-time high. I'm going to watch SPX, right? Because I'm looking to target that 50 EMA. And a pretty nice push here. Look at that. Very nice. Very nice. Up here on SPX, 21%. See if we can get a nice push down. That was a perfect example there of what happens most, right? Like, so look, nice push in the previous all-time high. Our next target is going to be 608.69. I probably should take profits here. If you guys are in this trade, this is not a bad spot to take profit. I'm going to let it go a little further. But you know, this is definitely an important level, so not a bad spot to take some profit. But I'm gonna let this keep going. I'm gonna put my stop above that previous 5-minute candle there, and let's see what we get.